getting to be close to dinner time. I'm going to go outside and see if I can find some things to make Matt a nice little dinner. He's been working so hard this morning, been weed eating and mowing, and then he's got more work he's got to do this afternoon down at Corey and Austin's. So I know there's plenty of radishes out there, although Matt doesn't like radishes. But so many of you have told me that if I roasted them for Matt that he would like them. So I'm going to go get some radishes and I'm going to roast them. I'll bring the greens in too, and I know he'll like those. He loves greens, so I'll saute those up for him. And then while I'm out there, I'm going to grabble in the potatoes and see if I can just find 2 or 3. And that way, if he doesn't like the radishes, he'll still have some potatoes to eat. And I made some pimento cheese over the weekend. Matt and his friend Daniel have been working in Austin and been working on Corey and Austin's house trying to put in the heating and air. So since Corey's big, pregnant, and not feeling real good, I said I'll make us some lunch and bring it down for everybody. And so I made that pimento cheese. Everyone loved it, but I've got leftovers, so I know Matt will like that. So I think it'll be a nice little dinner with hopefully he'll like the roasted radishes, the greens, and just a pimento cheese sandwich. Some of these radishes have got so big. I think those would be great, though, for the roasting. Look at that. Ain't that great? Another really big one. The only problem with harvesting them, which I'm going to do, is then I'm going to worry about if they're protecting my cucumbers from the dreaded squash bugs. I guess I could plant some more. When I've been eating them before, I've just kind of threw the greens down, hoping the greens is what's supposed to be the thing that's deterring the squash bugs. But today, I want to take the greens with me. There's some more really big ones right here. I'll get those. The ones in the other bed are just as big. I probably really do need to pick. I'll get that one. Look at that. It's a gigantic one. I've got to see my little cucumbers are coming up. I had to replant those. These cucumbers over here, the first ones that did come up, these are the silver slicers. You can see they're beginning to train themselves up the cattle panel. The potatoes here have all fallen over. I'm just going to stick my hand down in there and see if I can find any little potatoes growing. I feel some already. Ooh, that's a nice sized one. I was really looking for littler ones than that. Here's a nice one. There's a nice one. That's probably, I'll cover all those back up, probably enough to grabble out for Matt. So I got everything all washed up, got the radishes cut off. Some of them had a little pithiness in the top part. I just cut that off though. Got the potatoes and I've got the greens. Now I just need to cut them up and get them ready for the oven. Hunting for my favorite wonky pan. I had set it on top of the garbage can because it had where I'd made pizza last night. I didn't make it in this, but I'd left the pizza sitting in it. And I'd forgot. And I was looking all over thinking, where is it? I had set it right there and I was going to brush out the crumbs that was left. Anyway, I've got it all washed up now. I need a cutting board. I'm making a mess with my greens there. And I need a bowl, I guess. I don't know, am I going to toss them or just drizzle olive oil? Maybe I'll just drizzle. And I've never roasted radishes before, so I'm just going to do what I normally would. I wonder if I should put them down facing. I guess I'm just going to split them because they're so big. Maybe I should dice them, but I'm going to try this. We'll see. Because radishes you can just eat raw, so I guess it depends. You'd cook them long enough get to the state of tenderness you wanted. So if you wanted them like kind of still crunchy, or if you wanted them more mushy inside, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That was one of the ones I had to cut. There's still a little bitty piece there. A little place on the top part of it. Apparently didn't wash that one good. I can't help but eat them though. I can't believe Matt doesn't like radishes. He doesn't. Let's hope he likes them this way. If he doesn't, I will. But is that all my? I think there's no one more. One more radish. Now for the potatoes, I wonder if they'll take longer to get done. I may cut them. I'm going to cut them. Maybe I should even dice them. Normally I do. If I roast potatoes, I just do a rough dice. I guess that's what I do. Oh, the new potatoes are so good. This will be our first new potatoes of this year. I am going to put them in a... I'm changing my mind midstream here. Changing my mind. I'm sure it would work fine the other way, but since this is how I usually do it, it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, even though I'm sure I'm not. I thought about boiling them first. That's what I would usually do with new potatoes, is kind of scrape up, or not really, you're not really scraping it, but boil them a little bit first so they get almost tender, and then scrape the skin a little bit, then put them in the oven, and all those little scraped up pieces of skin where it just starts peeling off get all crunchy and wonderful. So good. Okay, now got me some olive oil. I need something to stir with. I think I'm just going to do I'm going to put the radishes in here and do the same thing. I was just going to drizzle them, but why not? Since I've done and dirtied the bowl, right? Now I'm going to put them back out. Throwing them, I'm going to end up on the floor if I'm careful. Okay. Now I'm just going to use salt and pepper because that's usually what I use on my potatoes. Well, actually I just usually use salt, but I'm sure you could use whatever kind of seasonings you want, but I'm just going to do the salt and the pepper. And I'm going to put them in the oven. I've got it on 450. I usually would roast these potatoes for about 20-25 minutes, something like that. So I guess I'm gonna let them go 20 minutes, then I'll check the radishes and check the potatoes too. I did make them a fairly small dice, so it shouldn't take too long. Now I'm going to get my greens ready. What did I do with my bowl? Perfect bowl to use for that. Except for the pieces of trash I found. Not trash, a little piece of bark. Okay. Now, as far as greens, whether it's this radish greens or anything, that leaf was so little I just tore it. Sometimes I do just tear them. I like to take out that middle stem, the end of it, if it's really thick, like that one is. I guess I'll lay that down there and I can chop. I did not do a good job washing, I'm telling you. There's some more, looks like some bark, some mulch, I guess that's what it is. So some of these that are so little, I'll just tear off this big stem because it's so big and it gets kind of woody. Reminds me of that old saying, everybody eats a peck of dirt before they die. Have you ever heard that? So I guess I'm feeding Matt some dirt today. Actually, I'll rewash those that I didn't get clean. I usually just, when I get a little pile, kind of wad them up and then maybe just do a rough chop one way and the next, and that's it. That's the great thing about greens, they cook up and you don't notice how you cut them once they're all chopped up. Wish I had some like leftover soup beans or something to go with this. It's going to turn out to be a nice little meal, but I guess a sandwich will be okay with it. We don't eat radish greens a lot just because usually I'm the only person that eats the radishes, so it's kind of stringy. But who likes our radish greens is our chickens. So in one way we are eating them because we feed the chickens and then they give us eggs. We do like greens though, but just preferring the kale that we grow. Of course we love mustard greens. A lot of people ask me about collard greens and I like them okay. Matt does too. We would rather have mustard though. Love spinach. The Malabar spinach I grow, we grow out in the back. We love that. A lot of people ask me about poke salad. I never have, I didn't grow up with Granny and Pap eating that, so it wasn't something I ever eat. I have eat it before and I didn't care for it. Now maybe that was because the person that cooked it didn't know what they were doing, or I don't know. Maybe I was too young and I would like it now. Granny said her sister, Faye, and her husband, Woodrow, and then my Granny Gazzy said they were just crazy about it, and they'd go out every spring and look for it, you know, and cook it, and they were just, thought it was the best thing ever. Granny didn't care for it, and Pap didn't like it, and he said the only way he'd eat poke salad would be the same reason he did when he was a boy, is if he had to, if he didn't have nothing else. So it's just one of those things, it's personal preference. There's like the members of Granny's family that just adored it and went out every spring, you know, looking for it. And then people like Pap that just didn't care for it. There's varying ways even to cook it though. And the only way I had it was the method where you boil it the 3 times and empty the water it's boiling in, and then you mix it with eggs. That's how I had to eat it. I think I ate it one time with just boiled and like cooked and then seasoned with whatever, and then people poured vinegar over it. There's another dirty one. But I didn't like it either time. I just would prefer spinach or kale, mustard greens, those kind of things. I'll have to think about what I'm going to season these with. I usually just saute things in a little bacon grease or even olive oil, sometimes butter. Oh, there's a radish. I left a radish. I guess that means I get to eat that one though. I'll just save it. Let me go ahead and rinse these 2 off. all of the greens. So my chickens will enjoy those. Give those to the chickens. I'll enjoy the radish I forgot. See if I can clean up my mess and get me a frying pan started so that I can cook the greens. I think I'm going to use some bacon grease today since this is for Matt. I might add just a splash of olive oil. Again, I'm just going to use salt and pepper. You could use whatever kind of... You have to tell me what you like to use on your greens. We usually flavor ours, thinking about mustard greens or something. We would flavor them with salt pork, with fatback or streaked meat. You can see how many greens I had and then how it ends up not being very much by the time they wilt down. So the radishes and potatoes are almost done. I'm going to go ahead and make Matt's sandwich, make him a pimento cheese sandwich here. We've about eat it all. Matt's about eat it all. Well, Austin and Corey and me helped. Daniel turned out didn't like pimento cheese, so he had a ham sandwich, but I took ham just in case somebody didn't like it. Matt loves it though. He's done put his order in for more. And I have a video about it, so I'll link to that too. And even cut Matt's sandwich in two for him. Now, let's see if I can get the other stuff ready. Oh, they look good. You can see them. I don't know. I guess me and Matt's going to try them together. Matt, you ready to eat? He said he ain't hungry. I know that ain't true. You'll be surprised. I don't know if you'll like the roasted radishes, but you'll try one, won't you?
Yeah, I'll try it.
That's radish greens. And they're very good. Yes, I just tasted them. Very good. And then our first new potatoes of the year. There might be enough of them for me to have some too. And then pimento cheese sandwich. What I should have done when I was cooking, I realized I should have made like some fried cornbread to go with this stuff and not done the sandwich. You could probably put pimento cheese on your fried cornbread.
Yep.
But I didn't think about it. So, okay, you can get you some. You want to try radish? It may be very hot. Ooh, they're really, really soft. You want the little one probably, don't you? Let's see what we think about them. I guess they are hot. I probably should just cut me off a little piece instead of burning my mouth.
They're very hot.
Very hot.
But they're good like that though.
Tastes very similar to a turnip.
Tastes just like a turnip.
Tastes like a turnip. All right. You like them?
Mm-hmm.
All of you were right who said you need to roast them and then Matt will like them.
Mm-hmm.
Taste amazingly like a turnip. I've never had them.
And I love turnips.
Yeah, I've never had them before. I had them roasted. It was really good. Tastes so much like a turnip though, it's like messing with my mind.
He's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. You want to try the greens? I know you like them, but...
Them's good.
They are good. Well, I'll let Matt dish up what he wants of the potatoes and the radishes. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me as I made Matt some dinner after he's worked so hard outside and got to work hard this evening too, so I was trying to be really nice to him, trying to butter him up a little bit. We're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.